Hi everyone, Kay here again. Thanks for watching. Just thought I would do a quick video on what I've been working on lately. This particular project or box is a workshop that I did online with Roxanne Evans Stout. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Essentially, it's a book in a tin. This is the cover of my tin, which is, metal bits and pieces, some fabric and paper. The tin was extremely silver, so it has been, I don't want to say tortured, it's been aged artificially. So this is the cover, as I said, and inside are the pages and the rest of the project that we did. Inside the cover of the tin is this little leather coin purse. I didn't actually have a coin purse, but I did have a frame. So I cut a piece of leather from my scrap box and pushed it up inside the frame here. First I Vliza fixed on some cotton quilting fabric for the inside, so I didn't have to worry about the other side of the leather. These are some little fabric scrolls that were included in that we learned how to do in the class as well, that live in the little coin purse. And of course, I think that's a Tim Holtz metal embellishment there that I put on the front because it was a bit plain without it. Don't know if you can even really see that well. Oh, there it is. That's a bit better. It's a bit of a dark old. I'm in the shadow a bit here with my lighting in the studio. So there you go. That's that one. And just lined it with some paper. The first page in the book is done on some. I think I used. It was a while ago when I did it. It's just some multimedia paper or mixed media paper. I always get those two words mixed up. That has been stained and painted and edged with some ink. Had like a collage with fabrics and some metal. I just embellished a little with some stitching. And this little guy is wired on with some blue wire. I think I still have it up here actually. Yes, there it is. So just some blue, this one was only 26 gauge, so that's quite fine. Just to hold it in place. That's that one. The next page is again fabric collage on top of the paper with some extra bits and pieces in there and a metal frame that I attached also with that blue wire and some blue beads. So that's, that page. Here we go, next one. Just again, scraps. This has got a bit of denim. I like to have all these frayed bits just hanging there. A lot of people might not like that, but I do. And this is a piece of, it was on a roll. What do I call it? Like a trim, I guess. And it had this already attached to it, so that's just what came with it. That's not extra work on my part, just to attach that there. And this back page is a clothing label that I quite like. I've kept it forever. It's got a gorgeous little flying duck on it. I think it's a duck, yes. And I just stamped that onto a piece of it's just loosely woven cotton, I think, and stuck it there to cover up the it just says registered there, and there we are, 1946. So that's obviously part of the fabric of the clothing label there, and I left that on, which was just attached to the clothing label. When I think it's a gentleman's brand. My husband knows to keep all sorts of things for me to turn into other things. So that's my first page. Now, because this was attached, I've stitched it onto the paper here and then attached that into the book. It takes up a lot of space in this little tiny tin. It's not very big here. I just stuck some music paper on the back there to cover it so I wouldn't have to extend my aging process to the back. So the second page here, again, same paper with a fabric collage on the front and attaching some metal bits here as well. This one's wired on with the same blue wire. So I sort of stuck with a bit of a blue and a brown theme there. Not that, you know, that really means anything. You can have any use of anything on the pages, but I quite like the little lace bits. And some of them, this has been stitched on, but most of it's glued onto there. So this is the inside of it. Another big piece of fabric inside. Again, blue and brown. Here, I don't know if you can notice it. What happened was when I was gluing it all in, and I was getting a bit excited about it and I wanted to continue, but I also wanted to make sure it was dried flat. So I put it in my book press to dry it flat. But when I had put it in, I didn't put any, usually I put like a silicone or baking paper in between things so they don't stick, but I didn't because I was a bit excited about continuing with it. So when I took it out, it had actually dried. That wasn't in there, that I was attached later, but it had dried together. And when I opened it, it was all lifting here, and kind of peeling back layers of the paper and that sort of thing. So rather than get upset about it, and you know, chuck it away and start again, I put this, it's also from a, you know, the shopping bags you get from different stores and that sort of thing. So I've cut up one of those. I think it's hemp, this particular one, and it had some paint on it and etc. So I just cut some, or not cut, tore some strips and attached to cover up the mess I made. This has got a bit of pattern paper on it too, this one. So that worked out alright. And then embellish the pages with, again, fabrics and metal bits. And again, the blue wire on top of a rusty metal heart. And I attached a page in this particular page of the book, which is a, I don't know, just a mandala type of embellishment there, metal, that's also rusted beautifully on its own, or I think I may have even bought it rusted, but again, you know. And this is just a scrapbook, scrap of paper that I haven't used, so it's not very heavyweight, it's quite flexible, which is good to have on the inside. Created another little tag from a clothing tag. This said something under here that I didn't really want to have shown, so I've stitched on a metal, rusted metal dragonfly in there too. Continue on with the theme, I suppose, and created a little pocket here which has been stitched on, so it can just sit in there, and then just basically pamphlet stitched it into the centre. You can see the stitching here. So this is a little extra bit, and here is the last, no it's not, it's the second last, the last page is over there. So second last, again, lots of bits hanging off with threads and different things, and some more collage, fabric collage with some metal attached there, just pinned through these little safety pins in different colours, and they're quite a good little embellishment that I've hung on to for a long time, waiting for this, obviously. I hope. And the last page, here we go. So that's just the, you know, the back of the front. Again, fabric collage with little extra bits and pieces, and then a nice skeleton leaf here. It really sort of, I don't know, just called out for something under the rusty metal star, which I also purchased that was already rusted. So there you go, there's that. Just realising it's quite dark in the imaging. I've got the door open, it's a beautiful sunny day, but anyway, sometimes you just get what you get when you're filming. Bit neater edging here, not torn, mostly cut. This is some nice Japanese fabric that I picked up at a show, and it's just like the scrap of whatever's left from what I used it for, which I can't remember what that was. So, because this, and I did make another couple of pages as well to go in there, but thinking that it would all fit. But of course, when you're piling on different metal bits with lumpy bumpies in there, and then this purse on the front, it wasn't going to close, which is fine. So it just sits on my shelf like that. I just have to figure out how to trap them in a bit better. So it'll be okay. It's fine like that. So the extra pages that I had, I thought, well, I really should, find another tin to put them in. Of course, I couldn't find one the right size. So these are the extra pages that I had made, which are the same size as this one, and again with safety pins, but it's going into another tin, so that's okay. This one I attached a big key on the front, but again the same, idea of it all, with a fabric collage on paper that has been painted and treated. This is the inside, and again I made the same mistake on this particular page as well. Stuck it together, and when I tore it off it was all a bit tatty, so I just put some blue fabric there with a nice frayed edge hanging over, rather than, as I said, getting cranky with myself and messing it up and starting again. I just continued. So this is an old piece of old tea towel that I think my sister-in-law brought me back from Ireland. I don't think she expected me to rip it up and use it in that case, but it's quite nice fabric, and it's got this, little addition there with the holes in it. So that's that one. Next page I've stamped the word art here, and that is the same, or the rest of what I had ripped off that bag to repair the other pages. So I just stamped on that and stitched it here. It's attached that way with some more fabric underneath, and with lovely frayed edges and some denim. I think that's the hem of an old pair of jeans I just cut off. Yeah, it looks like the hem. Anyway, and that's the back page, which is another one of those trim that I had. This one was white, and when I was doing some paper dyeing, I threw a few extra things in there, and that came out, in that particular colour, which was quite nice, and I could use it in this. So yes, so that's those two pages. Now to house them, no, that's just that one. I didn't show you this one yet. Also, again, similar way of doing things. This one's got a bit of, I don't know where that came from. I've had it forever. I think it's cardboard, but really heavy duty type of little ruler there. 6 centimeters. Inside, this is off a bag as well that was printed with lots of little insects on it. So I trapped that there with some different fabric collage. So there's no metal on that particular page. And on this one, it's quite flat. It's just a little metal star there that I've attached with stitching. But being so flat too, I was hoping that it would, fit into another tin a bit better without being too bulky with things. That's on the back page. A nice, is it a kilt pin or a knitting pin of some kind? I've had that forever too, and these are just, I don't think they're buttons, they were just a little embellishment to put on that. They're just glued in place with some lace underneath there. On another clothing label there, a little clothing pin, and underneath there's a little tag with some typing on it. I typed it out and cut it up and fit it in there somehow, which is just, what have you done today to make you feel proud? And it's just sort of something I try and think of every day, and accomplish something. So plus it's lyrics from a song by Heather Small, and I think also on a television show from years and years ago. Oh well, maybe not that long, but anyway, it's just something that has stuck in my mind, and I thought I would just include that there too. There's a little, you know, little something to find underneath there. Okay, so that's those 2 pages that didn't fit in the book. 1, 2, so I had to find another tin to hopefully fit them in. But of course it's not as easy as you think it is. So here's the tin that I found, and this tin, it was in my collection of things. I was saving a lot of tins for a class that I had booked into that, because of COVID, was cancelled. So I thought, oh, I may as well use them for other things. But this one has a window on the front, and it was also very, very silver shiny, and I just painted it with some rusty paint effect thing, where you also paint over it and then it goes rusty outside. But it didn't get the nice patina on it, so that's just been smudged on with a paintbrush. So that's my tin, and I didn't do the handle. So there's this bright shiny silver handle, so I just wrapped it up in some more of, you know, fabric that I've ripped off that shopping bag. So that's worked out. And I've left this long bit. I might attach some things to that in time, but not yet. So having the window on the front, I had to make sure that the front page would act as a cover for the box, or the decoration on the cover of the box. And I think this one turned out all right. So I had to make them a bit bigger. These pages that I did for the other one are quite, not too much smaller, but a little smaller. And they can just slot inside, hopefully. So that's the front of that, and I loved this fabric when I got it. It was just in a remnant basket at a shop. I think it was at a shop or at a show that I went to. So I grabbed it because I thought, oh, that is just divine with the trees. And then of course I had these little charms in another box that I found kicking around in the studio, and I thought, well, that would go well okay on there. Birds in a tree. I mean, you know, don't have to stretch the imagination too much for that. This is also just a scrap of, I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's, I don't think it's organza. It's very light sheer fabric though that's been hand dyed, and it's beautiful, and some gauze. And I guess another piece of a bag that I've ripped up. I like those shopping bags because they're printed with different things and nice colours and, you know, that sort of thing. So they're good to have if you're not going to take them shopping. Take them into your workroom and rip them up. That's the way to go. So there's that front page, which I thought was okay to have showing through the window. Here is the next page with, again, fabric collage. Did some little beading on there, and another little bird. I think that little bird there was from the same set these guys were in. So that worked out all right, or a similar, you know, type place. And these next ones, again, some more trim. This is off the bag, and I actually stamped that little squirrely thing on it because it was a bit plain, and then attached these flowers with some stitch. So they're quite good, I think. And the last page, some again, fabric collage. Put a little sequin in there because it was also a bit open. It's not a washer, I don't think. It's kind of bumpy, but it's beautifully rusty on its own. I didn't have to rust it, it just appeared that way in the street. I do pick up a lot of things when I go for a walk or whatever. My husband thinks I'm quite mad, but he's now starting to look out for things for me to pick up as well, so maybe the madness is spread. So that's that page, and this is the next one. Again, same, you know, fabric, stitching here and there, little bits of threads hanging. This one had a more of that bag fabric, so I just thought, oh, I'll stitch it on as a little tab there on the side. I don't know, it just sort of felt to me like it needed a bit of balancing, this page. So that worked out okay. And again, the inside, I like circles, so there's a beautiful big circle under here of fabric. This is another little flippy thing, which is that Bob Marley quote, live the life you love and love the life you live, which is a good one. So there's another little surprise under there, and more circles of fabric and trim, that sort of thing, and a hamsa here in the middle, which is just a hand to ward off evil, I think. And again, a pin here with dirty old washer attached, and some more sort of tab-like things off the edge. And the last page, again, a nice flat embellishment, so hopefully it wouldn't take up too much room. But the tin here is also quite shallow. There's not a lot of space in there, and this does take up a lot of space, so they'll fit there. But if I pop these ones inside each of those, I won't be able to close the tin. So guess what? I have to find another one, another tin in my collection, and hopefully they'll take these pages, and I might have to make some more too. Well, we'll see. Maybe I won't make more. Maybe I'll just house those other 2 pages and call it done. So there's that. But I really, really liked the class. It was fantastic. I'm sure you can still hop on to, I think it's Jeannie Oliver who is doing it. You can do it through that. If it's something that interests you, you should definitely hop on over and have a look, because it was a lot of fun. And now I'm starting to include fabrics more in my other collage pages for my other books and that sort of thing, and rusty elements, which I just love. So there you go. That's that. Anyway, just thought I would share that one. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the glare from the light above. Yes, so thanks again, and keep safe, and see you next time. Bye.